Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas that we're hoping won't secede. Good morning to the United States of America. And of course, good morning to the entire world. Good morning to everybody receiving these signals that Howard and Jack, that 100,000 watt, going into every nook and corner of Southeast, Northeast, Texas, and Southwest Louisiana. Hey, and everywhere else. Anyhow, folks, we're going to have a great show for you today. But before we get started, of course, we move it on to the geniuses at the studio. Buenos días. ¿Cómo está el señor Howard? ¿Cómo está el señor Jack?
Well, good morning. We don't know where those geniuses are, but when we find them, we'll say hi to them. Good morning to Taipei. You know, why not?
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Well, before you come in, check this out. Check this out. I got Patrick Barron from, he said, good morning, my friend, from Chile, Florida. So we know Florida is already listening. Good morning, Patrick Barron.
Maybe they should. Maybe we can direct some Floridians down there.
Yes.
To oust their dictator governor. Recently deposed presidential candidate. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Okay, well, let's see. What do I have for you this morning? The little enigma, the music for you this morning, Harry. That was Sadness, Part 1. Thought you might like that one. It isn't Peter White, but, you know, it's pretty good. And Jack, you got some wisdom you were working on when I came in.
Yeah, I read Egberto's little post in the morning, so this one maybe won't steal your show.
It might, though.
Okay. Democrats are standing up for women's reproductive rights, using women's personal stories of the horror, the anxiety they have suffered since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, by politicians willing to write bills demonizing women and doctors while they kiss butt for the evangelical vote.
Those rats. You know, Jesus did not propose any of this garbage that the evangelical right has to say. You know, they're not like, damn, Jim Jones is back.
Well, I hate it that it's like that, but you know, it is. I mean, it's true. That's what they tell them, that they're going to be pro-life, and you know, that's their stance, and they can be that way. It's okay to be, but don't push it on other people that don't believe that way.
Well, basically, it's just pro-life up until birth. After that, there's just no support other than the Catholic Church. I will say that. We'll give the Catholics some kudos. They don't deserve many of them, but they do provide a lot of services to poor and unwed mothers and stuff. They do provide some services to them. So we can't bash the Catholic Church too much, because they do have Catholic charities and that sort of thing. But anyway, that's about all for me. We have Stolen Egberto show for the first 4 minutes.
Well, golly.
So you got 50 minutes left. What you got, man?
Well, first of all, you guys always change the direction that I wanted to start. So we'll start on the women's issues, but actually you said something that is so important, Howard. There is this obsession with controlling a woman's body, in telling her that she can't have she can't have an abortion if she so chooses, etc. But the most important thing I think you pointed out is that there is so much concern about controlling that woman's body, but so little concern about what happens after that body produces a baby. On both sides, on both the baby side and the mother's side, they don't
care.
Right.
It's our will. We're gonna force our will upon you. And today, you got to think about this, Egberto. Think about this and think about it clearly. Today, it's abortion rights. What is it tomorrow that they're going to take away from you? Because you know they will. There's something else. And there's always something else they're going to take away. It's all about control. They'll start with ones that they can win, and then they'll eat away at the other ones, because that's the way it always works.
Listen, you nailed it. And the thing about it is this, right? When you do these things one step at a time, it's like when you have your foot in water that's slowly increasing in temperature. By the time you realize that you're in trouble, and that is where we have our job of being the truth tellers on the airwaves, with pointing out all kind of data and information that is verifiable, data that one can go and look up. In other words, we're not out here trying to blow you know what up, you know what. We're just here to tell the truth, nothing more, nothing less. And the saddest thing is that we are doing, or those that are doing this in the name of their religion, specifically evangelical Christianity. And the interesting thing about it is, nowhere in the Bible has there ever been talk about abortion. I have a young man that he ran for my district a few times, my state district 127. And I love this guy. This guy was he studied in a seminary, and then he left, but he still has those values of caring for people and that sort of thing. I mean, he's a very caring person. And he made a TikTok video a few months ago where he wanted to talk to people and tell them, Jesus spoke a lot. The things that Jesus spoke about for those who are Christians. And by the way, I am a humanist, but I grew up a Christian all my life. And the only thing that moved me from that, again, has a lot to do with with what's being done today, to put it bluntly. But he came out and he said, the word that's used the most in that New Testament is love, and the word that has never shown up is abortion, and the other thing that has never shown up at all is gay or homosexual. None of that has shown up in the Bible. And it often makes you wonder whether we actually know that a lot of what goes on with these religious evangelicals that are destroying women's lives, and I'm not speaking about the good ones now. So for the Christians and Christian evangelicals, listen to me, that have a good heart, that care about women, that care about the born. In other words, that care about providing sustenance to the born, that don't care about shooting immigrants as they come over the border. Those are the people, the Christians I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those that continuously preach pain on others, yet they're the same ones that we find can't live the life of the moral life that they define as moral themselves. Amazing. But before we get started, it seems like Harry gave an early call. So let's go ahead and get Harry in. But also, folks, you can call at any time. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. I would love to hear from all of you who have something to say. We've been short on women calling, and one woman told me, well, we're too darn busy getting the kids ready and doing all the other things. Remember, we do most of the work around here. To which I say, women, you're so right. It's time for all of us to perform. Come on in, Harry.
¿Cómo estás, amigo Alberto Willis?
Muy bien, gracias. Good morning, Harry.
Oh, de nada. And good morning to Howard, and good morning to Jack. Yeah, I heard that song, Sadness. You have played it before, Alberto's show before. I first heard Enigma when my brother who has been on this show and talked to you, Roberto. His name is Alan. You talked to him a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah. But I first heard it from him. There's also another song that Howard, if he has time, can look up and play that Enigma has. It's called Principles of Lust. My father really liked that one. That's another good piece on that same album. But anyway, I called mainly to all the women out there who believe in abortion. And as I told Jack before I started to talk to you, Arnie Arneson yesterday, and I think last week, has said when she goes into the voting booth, she is not taking Joe Biden in the voting booth. She's taking Kate Cox because she's been laying out, and she's absolutely right about all that stuff. They were talking about here in Texas, but what they're worried, a lot of the women don't want to have sex with men because they're worried. Arnie said this morning. She said, "What if something goes wrong with the condom?" And then they were talking about how the rapes are increasing, and they're up, and then because Texas has outlawed abortion, now the women are forced to have those babies, the rapist baby. Arnie was very passionate and very emotional about that, and I'm sure a lot of you women who are going to call Roberto this morning will talk about those sort of things because abortion is on the ballot. President Biden has mentioned that abortion is on the ballot, but like I told Steve Hunter a few occasions, the Democrats dropped the ball back in 1973. They did that ruling on Roe v. Wade, but they had the numbers. They should have made abortion a law of the land, because what they should have figured is you still have these people who talk about pro-life, and as Arnie puts it, as my life, because they don't care once the kid gets here, then you're just on your own. It's just that what they should have done was made it law of the land then, instead of hopefully the pro-life people will never get in position, and we'll never get pro-life majority on the Supreme Court.
Let me just, Harry, I want to interrupt you. A second, okay?
Go ahead.
First of all, you are right that many times they should have gone ahead and passed a law to make it the law of the land. And usually, if the legislature passes a law and the executive affirms the law, meaning they sign the bill, it is the law of the land, unless the Supreme Court somehow finds something within that law that they can deem unconstitutional. And when you have an illegitimate court like we have right now,
right.
nothing is guaranteed. A few weeks ago, I played you a tape that I did at least 7-8 years, probably more than 8 years ago here at KPFT, where I pointed out why those who have been trying to control the Supreme Court are doing so. And the reason why is they do not have majority support of the American people. Again, the only person in the last several presidential elections to have win a majority, the only Republican to have win a quasi-majority over the last several decades was George W. Bush. But the first time he ran, he won without a majority. The Trump won without a majority. The country has changed. The country has left the values of the Republican Party. Unfortunately, because we are not in a democracy, and hear me, audience, very well, we have been not a conservative country for a very long time. The only thing that keeps us with these policies are because there's 2 senators per state, where there and many of those states are without large populations, as well as an electoral college. This country's democracy is not a democracy. Harry, I got to go to Ray. Close me out real quick.
Okay, well, what I'll say is now Justice John Roberts, when they struck down abortion, he voted for not to strike abortion down because he voted for the will of the people. But those other 5 conservatives don't care. And really, again, as my brother would say if he were talking to you right now, this is about running out of European melanin deficient people. And so that's why they want this abortion stopped, and because they don't want to lose the majority of European melanin deficient people in this country.
I don't know that I can't answer to that. Let me just say this. I don't know what's driving these people. I mean, they can be racist without even going that deep and saying those particular things, right? I don't know, Harry. I really, really don't know in that case.
The European population is dropping. The European immigrant population that we know in this country has been dropping, and that scares them to death. The racist ones don't want, like I told you on Steve's show, they don't want DEI. They don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. They don't want a country, and you've mentioned yourself, where it's mostly brown, black, and yellow people. They don't want that. The racist ones, no, they don't want.
I am going to do a show on that. I need to do a show. There are a lot of scared people, and one of the questions you have to ask is why, right? I wish some people would look at South Africa as a template, but let me go to Ray. Harry, thank you so kindly for calling, my brother.
Good rest today, all panel, and you too, Roberto, and we'll talk again. And all this.
Thank you, sir. All right, come on in, Rick. Talk to me.
Yeah, Harry was making some good points, but I understand it could take it a little far with that. I love you, Harry, and I always appreciate when you call in, because we two brothers are the same yoke when it comes to the progressive mind. So, I wanted to, first of all, highlight what I said yesterday. Thank you again, Egberto, every day for always coming on air, dedicating your time to, as I say, shredding the paper tigers. That's one thing. On the abortion issue, I wanted to speak on the fact of something you said that kind of like put a light bulb in my head. It's like, and something that they said earlier on the show when they were opening up for you. Basically, it's like, why is it's all about control? Because for all the people who are against abortion, I hear that same energy against the LGBT community, and, all intents and purposes, they're always beating down on that community because they don't approve of their activity or their lifestyle, But these people, if anybody, and I think maybe George Carlin might have said this, if anybody is not having abortions, it's the LGBTQ community. Leave people alone.
Right.
What is the end game here? So I call BS every time I hear it, because if you're against abortion, you should be for anything that would be counteracting to even creating an abortion, mainly, homosexual acts or anything like that doesn't deal with children being born. I mean, basically homosexuality, sodomy, if you want to go that far, the act of sodomy does not involve any form of sex that would cause conception yet. And I know that it's a little early for that, but you brought it up and I thought it was a really good point. Like,
no, it is. Look, it is important. And a lot of this, Ray, has to do with power and also control. These people, half of the leadership, I'm not talking about half of the leadership have taught their pew, have taught their followers things that they don't believe in. Do you really think Governor Abbott wants Texas to secede? Come on, Texas would die tomorrow if it seceded from the Union. We are so dependent on military bases. We are so dependent on government contracts. We would never survive leaving the United States of America. There's only one state that likely could survive leaving America, and that is California and maybe Florida. It's amazing that these people don't believe what they're saying, but they can control people with having them believe silly stuff. And that's an unfortunate thing. And, and I think it's a evil thing because, again, they have these people voting against their interests. But Ray, calling into our show, talking to people and spreading the word to others just makes people smarter. That's why we have won the popular vote since, we've won the popular vote since the last time Bush was in office. Think about that. The popular vote has never been won by these guys since then. But Ray, I got a full set of lines here. Anything else you want to say real quickly, sir?
Oh, I wanted to ask you real quick, Egberto. We got some events coming up at Texas Organizing Project, and I want to email you both. So,
yeah, you just send it to me, and that's community service, brother. You tell me what you need for me to put out here, and we'll put it out on both shows, okay?
All right, brother. Well, I'll keep listening.
Thank you, brother. You have a great one, Ray. Let's go to Mary. Come on in, Mary.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yep. On the abortion thing, I wish y'all wouldn't category it. I know it's a political show and all, but I wish y'all wouldn't Democrat, conservative kind of, because it's, I had an abortion at 13 and then again at 15 in the 70s. And it was a 6-week ban. Then I guess that's when it first became legal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that sticks with you for your life.
Yes.
And it's not that at that age, that, you're going to have a baby. I didn't really know, anything about that, but it's something emotional that sticks with you. And it doesn't, I wasn't a Democrat. I wasn't a Republican. I didn't even know, who the president was. But as far as the abortion nowadays, where they go all the way up to 9 months, I think is not necessary. There's no excuse on earth why you would have to wait that long if you need to have an abortion or want to have an abortion. I think there should be a cutoff. I'm not sure what it would be, but I think it would at least be, within the first few months. I mean, really, unless you're tied up and locked up in a cage and can't get to a doctor or, something for 9 months, can y'all see that?
Yes, actually, Mary, I was waiting for you I wanted to make sure that you got out absolutely everything that you wanted to say so that I could address each one of your points. So let me know, are you ready for me to respond or?
My point is people that say, whoever doesn't want abortion, it's all the way to the 9 months and even, what you've had children, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Let me, yes, Mary, let me first tell you the first thing I want to address is I don't know your story as far as why you've had to have 2 abortions, but let me just say that I wish society was in such a place that you would have gotten all the support that you've needed to not have gone through that or to mitigate that, whichever one would have worked. That's the first place I want to go. No, completely honor you. Number 2, I want to say that you are absolutely correct that abortion is not a Democratic or Republican thing. In fact, Republican women, just like Democratic women, just like women of no faith, women of faith, women of no party, whatever, I don't want to control what you deem necessary for you. When it comes to 9-month abortion, look, it's a scare tactic that's used often. You talk about your own abortion. Most women talk about their abortions not in the sense of they want to get rid of a baby that's been gestating for 9 months or anything like that. That really has never been the issue. You said it within your own words when you said, I don't know which woman would wait up until 9 months unless, and notice the word that you said, unless there is some extenuating circumstance, some reason why that occurred at that point. So that's just not in the nature of human beings to just want to get rid of something within their body. So I don't see absolutely any disagreement in the position of, let's say, myself as a progressive and you, Mary. And I hope that you see that. I hope that you understand that.
Okay. Yeah, it's just such a terrible thing that I don't even know the answer. I know you don't have the answer, but I just hope we can come together on that and stop.
We could. And you're a part of the answer, Mary. Mary, we could. And your testimony is a part of the answer. Really, your testimony is a part of the answer. Because as I recall, you consider yourself, and I'm just going to get a little political here. As I recall, you are a Republican woman, correct?
I am an independent Republican.
That normally votes Republican.
Not on every issue, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that I just want to get there that we're all in this boat, my friend. We're all in the boat. So look, I appreciate your call. Anything else you want to say before I move on?
Just that you're right about the people that are, go around saying you can't have an abortion, da 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 da. They need to step up and make a way for, like me, as a young girl. If somebody would have said, hey, maybe think about adoption or something, but nobody came to me. It was, we just need to step up and help those women that are in a situation, because it affects you for life, no matter who you are or what. It affects you.
I read you, Mary. I read you. I understand you. And that is something we preach. Somebody or our system should be there for you. And that the same people that will deny you control of your body, they're never there for you. And that's what we're talking about. So thank you, Mary, for your testimony. And you keep listening, and you call in here anytime and give us your stories.
Okay. You have a good day. And thank you.
You have a wonderful day. All right, let's go to. Thank you very much, Mary. Let's go to Joe. Come on in, Joe. Joe, you're on. Did we lose Joe? Okay. Let's go to Johnny. Okay. Johnny, come on in. You're there, Johnny. Come on in, Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of politics done right.
Yes.
My voice is low, so I apologize. I'm not supposed to be speaking right now. But you gave me a chuckle earlier when you mentioned about California and maybe Florida. Who the hell would want to emigrate to Florida? But you know what? Texas is such a stubborn state, given the people who are running it into the ground, that they would, sheer stubbornness, secede. My question is, the poor seniors who are living here, who don't have the wherewithal to move to California or Florida or New York or wherever, in order to continue receiving their necessary lifeline payments, their Social Security and whatnot. My question is, would the federal government immediately cut off Social Security payments, or would they continue to send them to the seniors, giving them like a window of time to move, and then have those payments follow them? How does that work?
No, I think they'll be treated like, put it this way. Let's say I am on Social Security and I move to Panama. I will still get my Social Security check living in Panama or wherever it is that I move to. So they would simply be getting their Social Security after moving to a foreign country, even though they didn't move, the country moved. But look, the one thing about our federal government is I am pretty sure humanity reigns. In other words, we're not going to be as arcane or as dehumanizing as our current Texas government is. I am pretty sure there are enough human beings in Congress and the presidency that will ensure that if somehow Texas were to find a constitutional way to secede, which I don't think there exists a constitutional way to secede, but maybe they'll grant them some constitutional amendment to do so. If that were ever to happen, I am pretty darn sure that the humanity within our federal government would mitigate what you just said, Johnny. Anything else, my dear brother, before I go? Well, we are still kind of full on lines right now.
Yeah, I hope you're right. And number two, Rush Limbaugh and other Republicans are not the ones inside that pot of water that's about to boil. You alluded to that at the top of your show.
Right.
Remember, Limbaugh talked about incrementalism, accusing our side all the time, when in actuality, he was always projecting onto us what he and his party, his people, his tribe have been engaged in doing since then and before then. That's what's going on here. They're doing it incrementally, folks.
Amen. You nailed it, Johnny. Thank you so kind of my brother. All right, let's go to, I think Spike was next. Spike, come on in. Okay, let's go to Emmanuel.
Hey, good morning, my brother. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás?
Mi pana favorito, habla mi hermano.
You remember yesterday, I told you that there's a major movement going on in Houston to get rid of all of these Democrats?
Yes.
Well, last night on Fox 26, there is a report they made that, you remember that judge that got accused of a felony in Galveston for punching or beating up some woman in Galveston?
Yes, I remember.
And they're removing from the bench, right?
Right.
So there's a African American attorney, female, running for that position, and he filed a lawsuit against her, saying that she is not qualified and she is not a practiced attorney. And the news said that this being filed against all Democrats running for office this year.
Well, they can try that.
What I told you yesterday.
Yeah. There's no, look, right now we have all kinds of forces that we have to fight. The new voting law that affects only Harris County. Hear me out. I don't remember what the bill is or the law is now. It only affects Harris County, that counties with X amount of people. If they have issues with the election, the Secretary of State, which is a Republican appointed by the governor, can come in and mess with your election. So look, that it's on, right? That is on. This fascist type of autocratic behavior by the right is not something that we're dreaming about. It's something that they're executing. And as Johnny articulated, incrementally, slowly. We first own your mind. I have a lot of people in my chat where it is clear that there is a section of our media that has them so mentally confused that they believe things only, well, people that are gullible could believe, I guess. And it really have these folks in a frenzy. And again, this is how autocracies are born. And that is where we are at right now, Emmanuel. So you are correct. But here's the answer to all of that. The answer to all of that is engagement. I have the motto on my blog is political engagement should be a requirement for citizenship. And that means agnostics need not apply. That means the disengaged need not apply. And I'm talking rhetorically, but really, we can't look. The people that are trying to turn us into an autocracy, the ones that are doing what you just talked about, Emmanuel, the ones who got laws to be passed that says a Secretary of State appointed by a governor can come into your county, only Harris County, and change your elections. That requires you, the people that are listening to my voice, to be politically engaged, whether you like politics or not. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Oh, I love politics. I follow it here and I follow it in Panama too. Mm-hmm. But listen, I would like to leave this with you. Mm-hmm. If you could get some of these people that are running for office, like what I saw, you can pull it up on Fox 26 from last night news. You will see the people that they mentioned. that all African American females are attorneys running for office. I would like, if it's possible, for you to bring those people on your program and interview them to that way they can present the ideas, they present how they can better the community in Houston. They can present, the plan that they have to make the community, more viable. So
you know what, Emmanuel, I will do that. I already have a couple of judges that are supposed to be on before the election. But, I'm going to redouble and take your advice and bring a few more. I see if I can line up a few. The ones that are incumbent, they are hesitant to come on the program because of the law. OK, they don't want to get in any kind of trouble having been on the bench already. Now, as far as the ones that haven't yet ascended to the bench, those are easier to get on because they won't have to worry about making a mistake that sounds like it goes with some, there are some rules and that they have to follow. But I'll take your advice. Thank you very much, hermano. Anything else before I go to Gonzalo? Muchas gracias. Y tenga buen día. ¿Está bien?
Igualmente, papá. Gracias.
Ciao. Okay, let's go to Gonzalo. Come on in, Gonzalo.
Morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am fine, my brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, about abortion, I don't want to go into much details, but I'm going to say just simply one thing. Even back in the 60s, there was something called quiet revolution, and it was the abortion pill, the main issue why people decided to take out of power all the religious Catholic influence in the government, and we became more a secular state. More democratic state. I think that will be a women appoint to vote this year, and I hope every woman in this country will vote for this, and that will be one vote for the Democrats in this case.
I agree with you.
There are other issues that I'm going to talk briefly about because I know it's not the main topic today. As you know, there were recent voting actions to favor the vouchers in the state of Texas as an option for the population.
Yes.
And the voting didn't come to anything substantial. So basically, they put it on hold till next year. As a consequence, the funds are on hold. They are frozen. And we're talking about billions of dollars. So that will affect not only the public schools, but also the charter schools, the ones that are greedy to get those vouchers, as well as the private schools, just because the governor and Dan Patrick say, hey, if you don't vote for the vouchers, we're not gonna pass any law or whatever. And even there are some Republicans that are against it, but it's a position of negotiation point that they are trying to keep in their hands.
Yeah, well, let me just say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As far as the vouchers failed. The several times that the governor tried to have special sessions, it failed because there's a team effort between the rural areas and many other places that prevented that from happening. We have a senator, I don't remember his name, our state senator or state representative that pointed out that the voucher system is just a transfer of wealth from the taxpayers to rich people who they did studies that show that the people who take advantage of vouchers are rich folks. Most of the others don't. So I think that item, the governor is going to try to do it over and over again, but I think the coalition will hold.
Hopefully. Yeah. And there are more serious items that I don't want to digress. I know that the topic is abortion, but I think this is serious. So I heard that there is a recent agreement between Democrats and a Republican about
on the border.
And they are trying to negotiate that also by putting more funds into the war. And I think that's Biden. He is doing things wrong, and I don't know if Democrat campaign will kick off somewhere. I don't know at what point. I know it's coming up, but they need to have other leaders.
I want to. I get the point about look at the choices that we're having, and we're having about the border. Funding the war in Iraq. I mean, if the war in Israel and funding the war in Ukraine. It's when I am just upset about this entire thing, but I'm going to talk about that another day. So let me go ahead and jump to Joni and then Spike, then Augie. So let's go ahead and thank you very much for Gonzalo para llamar. Joni, come on in.
Good morning, Egberto. I just wanted to address something that the mayor of Politics Done Right said. He's awesome. I've been listening to him since he and MOD were calling in years ago.
Yes.
He said, a psychology major here. I know just enough to be dangerous. But he said projection, that the right project. Mm-hmm. And in concept, he's right. Taking an attribution that you have and projecting it onto someone else. But a projection is by definition something unconscious that they don't know that they're doing.
Oh.
It's a mechanism to keep from owning what you yourself have, and you see it everywhere because it's inside of you. But what they're doing is different than a projection. I wish I could give credit to the lady I heard on KPFT who used the word reverse attribution, which is a conscious thing when you take the criticism that you're hearing from the public about something that's actually happening. And one of the most heinous ones I've heard, of course, is the child sex ring. When someone is screaming child sex ring, I would look really closely at the one screaming it, because, it's not the progressives. I doubt it's the progressives that would have such a thing, but I'm not going to say it's a purveyance of any political party.
Actually, let me interrupt you, Joni, for a second. It is the lawyer that I put on in Florida has shown that if you take a look, if you group all of these sexual crimes against children, it is 75-25 Republican. And again, her data is there. Their data is there for everyone to see. It's there. It's not this isn't like I am a partisan. No, the data is there. And also there is it is skewed towards evangelical Christians as well, pastors and people.
Yes. And I grew up in the Baptist tradition, so I know, where they come from and trying to deny, certain parts of your humanity that, is considered an evil thing. But that gets off into a whole ball of wax. What I was pointing out is that when you are screaming that somebody else is doing something while you yourself know that it's you doing it, it's reverse attribution. Thank you, though, Johnny. Johnny's awesome. I love hearing him on the radio. And you too, Egberto. And
thank you very much, Joni. Yeah. Thank you. And I just wrote down that word. I'm going to try to get it into my vocabulary now. Reverse attribution. Reverse attribution. I got to get it. Let's go to Spike. Come on in, Spike.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I am doing fine, sir. Talk to me.
Okay. The biggest thing about with the birth control today is that, like that brother said some earlier, the LBGQT, however you say that. But anyway, that's the main form of birth control today. That's why you see all this on TV where men with men, women with women, they're sending you a subliminal message saying it's okay. with the little children, saying it's okay. You can walk in the mall, see little old kids, 10, 11, 12, little girls and little boys, the little girls walking, holding each other's hand and stuff. That was all planned. It was all planned. You know, Henry Kissinger, when he went before Congress back in 59, 60, whenever that was, and asked Congress for money for population control reduction, they're talking about in the third world countries. That's what abortion is right now. It's population control reduction for us. They didn't create that bill. Margaret Sanger, they say she came up with the birth control pill. That was to deplete our population. I mean, I know a lot of people can't see it because you can't step out of the box and see what's going on. You know, the truth is within you. Everybody, the Spanish
Spike.
over that they bringing over here, that is to knock us out of jobs. And I'm talking about black people. And it's hard for people that don't look like me to understand that.
Spike.
Everything that's going on in the politics today, that's about us. To
Spike.
keep rise down. That's what
Spike.
Go ahead, bro.
Spike, respectfully, first of all, I hope you listen to my program, and I hope that I appreciate that, and I hope that you trust that I try my best to be accurate in the things that I say, and not only that if I don't agree with you, I can point that out, and for you to further, just like I would further do my research, for you to further do your research. I want to first hit on the LGBTQ thing. I don't agree that there is any outward plan to turn Americans into just a whole bunch of gay people for birth control, number one. And I also and you know, because I know gay people, I have relatives that are gay. I don't know if you do or not, but I do, right? And what I can tell you is gayness is a real thing. There's a certain percentage of the population. Look, you're a black man is what you said, correct?
Yes.
All right. When you walk out, in other words, your skin is that of somebody presenting black. So when you go out the door, you are immediately seen for who you are, a black man. You can't change that. That's how you're seen. But somebody is gay can only present as gay if they allow that to. If they allow, you can't look at somebody necessarily and say, "Oh, you're gay." All right. So, I mean, I think it is important for us to live in the body or see things through the eye of the person who say they're gay or otherwise. And I think that will make you come to a conclusion. Oh, my God, because I was a homophobe and I allowed myself to listen. I learned myself to learn. So I am not slapping you or anything like that. I'm saying I am a convert to the truth is what I like to say. Now, when it comes to go ahead, real quick, because go ahead, sir.
Okay. Let me correct one thing. No, I wasn't talking about everybody else being gay. I was not talking about. I was talking. What I'm saying was for the black man. See, they want to feminize the black man. That's why you come with all these little skinny jeans and stuff. They get putting all these flats, making it like it's okay. I'm talking about my people. They trying to feminize us because they are afraid of the black man, but they real cool if you feminize.
Okay. That I don't want to address that right now. Spike, call me again tomorrow. But let me. No. I want to address it, just not now because I have two other calls. But here's what I want to do, because you said something that I can grab onto: the femininization, the thing about letting a black man be less less threatening. That's something to talk about. Okay. But the other thing about abortion and LGBTQ that you mentioned, we have some disagreement there, and I hope we can do some learning together on that. So let's talk about that another day. All right.
Right on.
Thank you, brother. Peace. Let's go to Augie real quick, and then Lynette. Lynette, stay with me, but Augie's been waiting for a while. Come on in, Augie.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, yesterday I wanted to call in and talk about the Boeing thing. The Boeing
Yes. Yes, capitalism at its best.
CEO apologized to its customers and passengers, but he didn't say anything about the workers that tried to tell the management about the problems with the airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
They fired them. They fired the workers that were trying to, hey, we got a problem here, and they would listen. He never said anything about rehiring those guys and paying them with the back pay.
Thank you.
Still fired. And how come you don't fire the management that was responsible for that? It was the management.
Thank you.
But they don't talk about that. But then other people started calling in. I just started listening yesterday. But then today, talking about 73, that's when JFK was there. And if people remember, he said, "Don't ask what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for the country."
Yes.
So instead of blaming Biden and Obama, what are you doing? Like in this last election, one of the callers was talking about all this stuff we're getting in the mail and the literature and the commercials, how it's more one-sided. They don't see that it's one-sided because the money is on that side.
Right.
Did you pay anything for any of the candidates? Did you contribute to the Democratic cause or any of the parties?
Augie, I'm running out of time, but I want to give you some kudos first of all. You nailed it. All of us that are progressives, or which is a majority of Americans, okay, we have to take some responsibility. We do have to support those candidates that we want to win. We do have to support programs like KPFT and Politics Done Right. Why? Because we're out there trying to do the job to make sure that we do right by society. But you can't complain if you can go to Starbucks or get your expensive cable from the plutocracy and wonder why they're all screwing you. And Augie, as a kudos to you, knowing you personally and knowing what you've done here at KPFT and many other places, you put your money where your mouth is, brother. Thank you very much for who you are. I got to go to Lynette, Augie. Anything else real quick?
You are. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Get out there and vote and know who and what you're voting for.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's go to Lynette. Lynette, come on in.
Hi, I just want to say real quickly, I appreciate you all, and I only have about a second, so I just wanted to make a couple of points. I want to tell the brother that was talking earlier, when he talked about the girls holding hands, I don't know what ages they are, but what I have to say is be careful when you talk about girls holding hands, because girls are compassionate, okay? Because when I go to the mall with my daughter, I may hold her hand, I may hold her, we walk arm in arm. And then the other thing about the LGBTQ, hey, if that's their thing, that's their thing. That's on them. And the next point is about the abortion. What is it that the governor can make men responsible for to hold them as accountable as they do for the women that become pregnant before it even gets to an abortion? And then lastly, the old saying, I have to say this again, there's the old saying, give a man a fish, he eats for life. Give a man a fish. Anyway, he eats for life, but I saw it rewritten. It was like, give a man a fish. He eats for life, but if you teach a man to fish, you take away your business opportunity. So a lot of times people don't want to teach anybody anything because they can't make money off of them if they learn. So again, great job, Alberto, Jack, and Howard. Appreciate everything that you all do, and I gotta go. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lynette. Thank you very much. I could see that. Thank you, Lynette, for those wise words. I could see that Lynette had wanted to get her points out and that she needed to get out of Dodge. So I made sure and shut the hell up completely to make sure that she was able to say her piece. Now, I don't have enough time to play any of my videos, and they were good. I spent some time cutting them to make them the right size and everything, but I can't play them. So let me tell you, folks, but I so much more enjoyed speaking to all of you listening, because you can always go ahead and get all the items we're going to cover in the program by going to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. We send out this newsletter every morning at 5 in the morning with what we're going to cover on, or what we're going to try to cover on the show. But you come first. You come first. And if you call in and you have a word to say, that's what we want to go. Hey, take it away from me, Howard.
Okay, I want to go back to something that Spike was talking about. I think that there is a lot of the population that concentrate on what they are, that they don't know who they are. You may be a black man, that's fine. You can say you're a black man, that's fine. But who are you? What kind of person are you? The color doesn't matter. The attitude does. And as far as the gays and such, well, you know, that's their thing, but they're wired that way. I have always believed that the gay sector is just wired that way. It's nature's population control built in. Some people don't want to be gay. They want families, but they are so attracted to the same sex. And there's nothing wrong with being attracted to the same sex as long as people just leave you alone. It's who they are. It's what they are. So the only problem I've ever had with gay folks, and I don't really care, you know, you can be gay. I don't really care. What kind of a person are you? Do you have to go around telling me how gay you are? Because I don't care. It's who you are that I care about. So that's my closing statement on that. And Spike, thanks for calling in, man. We always appreciate your calls. Jack, you got some wisdom for us on the end?
I like what Lynette said about what's the man's part in this. You know, we have to stand with the woman when she wants the abortion and support her. I've walked women through the jeering clouds to Planned Parenthood before. You know, we just got to do better, man.
Thank you, man. Look, we're running out of time, or we're out of time. So let me just say thank you, all the callers. Thank you, all the listeners. I love you all. This is how we create community. My name is Egberto Willies. All right. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Howard. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.